One question I'd like to ask you, Geoff.
Yes.
I mean, when you were 10 years old, did you know you were going to become a healer?
No, I wanted to be a footballer.
A footballer,
Yeah.
absolutely. Okay, so it just happened, right? Today is a great episode because I'm introducing a very highly respected healer in Kohphangan, Geoff Brennan. How are you,
Thank
Geoff?
you. I'm very well, thanks, Luca. How are you?
I'm very good indeed, very good indeed.
I'm from Ireland originally, and how I came across bodywork was when I was 15 years of age. I discovered craniosacral therapy, and since then I think it's safe to say that I'm very much a cranial junkie since then. And then through the craniosacral therapy training, Luca, I found TRE, tension trauma releasing exercises. In life we get stressed.
Tell me about it.
Yes, we certainly do, and I'm sure there are many people, viewers out there who really wish to know what is this tool, this skill, which we can actually take home and use anytime, anywhere, any place. Simply, as I said, there's 7 exercises to warm the body up and to fatigue the muscles into actually reducing and releasing, if it's stress or deep chronic tension or trauma, simply from the body. So we have all the tools, the medicine right here in ourselves, our bodies, to do that. And then after, there's 15 minutes of pure shaking. And we practice a dance of shaking and resting.
It's wonderful, and I tried the modality with you, and it works very well. It seems very simple in a way, just a little simple exercises you do with your body. But then I remember going on the floor and starting like almost triggering the body into this unconscious way of shaking that released a lot of tension indeed. Yeah,
that's right indeed. Indeed, yes.
So it's like a cat. Whenever you scare a cat, then it falls like brrr.
Yeah, animals are wonderful teachers when it comes to theory. You may have seen your pet, your dog, or your cat. You may be petting it, and then it just shakes a little bit. Or they may come together. They may have a bit of a fight. There's that charge, really coming from the adrenal glands. The stress hormones are completely activated all over the body. We need to express and release. And so many people, we don't have the opportunity to do this because we're not as connected as we can be. And with the help of TRE, it can really help us do that, to really reconnect, come back to ourselves and our bodies, just through this simple evolutionary methodology of shaking and releasing. And what that does and helps us to do, Luca, is to really harmonize, rebalance the nervous system. So our body naturally shakes when there's threat or stress in the body, simply. And if we allow ourselves to naturally let go and release in a very safe way, the body can finally, in time, just gently come back down to homeostasis, which in other words means balance. And that's what we're
beautifully.
No alcohol, no drugs needed.
Absolutely, just everything is inside the body already.
The second modality that I offer is called Biodynamic Craniosacral Therapy. Now, Luca, you're probably wondering, wow, what is that mouthful? But in fact, what it is a very, very gentle touch therapy, feather-like touch, and is extremely relaxing for the nervous system.
Okay, so I see a theme developing here about relaxation. Yeah,
Correct.
that's what you really love, like
Yes.
to make people relax. Yeah,
Down-regulate is the key word here.
Down-regulate.
And down-regulating of what? Do you know?
The sympathetic nervous
That's
system.
correct.
Yeah?
Yes, the nervous system as a whole. They are together. It is called the autonomic nervous system,
Yeah.
which is made up of 2 parts. Number 1, the parasympathetic nervous system, which is all about rest and digest,
Yeah.
and healing and repair. And the second part is the sympathetic nervous system, which is all about fight and flight or freeze.
Absolutely, yeah, and that's the problem with people who are very stressed, particularly have chronic stress, is that they tend to spend a lot of time on the sympathetic nervous system, and over time the parasympathetic nervous system does not activate in the way it should. They don't relax, they don't digest, tell me about it, and also, you know, they tend to keep this cortisol level high on an almost permanent way.
A normal massage table, the client is generally lying on their back and receiving the treatment.
Sure.
So as I said, it's very, very gentle, light touch. There are two big ideas around biodynamic craniosacral therapy. Number one is that everything expands and contracts, and expands and contracts.
Like the respiratory system, yeah, like the lungs.
It's a really good question. So this would be called secondary respiration. So respiration, yes. Secondary respiration is all about the breath and breathing, correct. However, in biodynamic craniosacral therapy, this is what we focus on is primary respiration. So this is what, in other words, what I'm describing with my hands, the expressions of health, or in other words, as we call it in this modality, BCST, biodynamic craniosacral therapy, the breath of life. So the expansion and contraction, again, that I'm talking about, is very, very, very subtle. Very subtle. In other words, primary respiration. And what you may be wondering is this, and what is this? So what do my hands look like they're actually doing right now, Luca?
Opening and closing, eh?
Okay, yeah, good.
Nice.
Opening and closing what exactly?
Oh, like your soul,
wow,
soul.
Beautiful. Yeah, amazing. Great. So in biodynamic craniosacral therapy, the expansion and contraction, this is ongoing for forever.
Yeah.
So it can be the bones, the cells, the muscles, the tissues, the organs, everything is breathing. Everything is expanding and contracting all the time, whether we can tune into that or not. In biodynamic craniosacral therapy, trained, skilled therapist studies how to tune in and fine-tune these skills in order to listen and ultimately promote health. And that's the key goal of this style of bodywork. Then the second big idea around this work is that we work with the body intelligence. That's millions and millions of years of evolution at your fingertips. Mine too, it's the same, we're made up of the same stuff, the same material. It's kind of like pressing the reset button on your body.
Very nice, very the reset button, yeah, everywhere. Is there any specific part of the body you focus on?
Really good question, Luca, because with biodynamic craniosacral therapy, biodynamic means whole. So therefore, I could work on your little finger, like this, just ever so gently, and be connected to your whole body, just like that, or your head. But primarily, the cranium is very much a big part of the therapy itself, hence the name craniosacral therapy.
That's what I thought indeed. How about the sacrum
as well, and the sacrum as well.
See,
you got the answer. You're very
well,
good at this, Luca.
I know. Yes,
you must have experienced this before.
I
yourself.
did indeed. I did in London with an old friend of mine. Become a craniosacral therapist, the path of study is quite long.
That's
well,
right. That's right,
yeah.
Luca. Yes, correct. I studied in Ireland, and it was my training was a 2-year course, and then again, that's just the foundational. There's an ongoing. It's ongoing and ongoing and ongoing learning. We never stop learning. I studied a postgrad in India, which was all about the art of non-doing. Which
Very
is
nice.
Huge
I'm
part.
sure some people like that, you know.
For sure, exactly.
The art of non-doing, yes.
Which is a wonderful training in itself as well.
And we need to be trained on not doing anything, because of course the culture is very much about doing, and sometimes even overdoing and overstretching ourselves. Yeah, that's why then people end up being stressed and depleted and low energy at the end of the day.
Indeed.
And maybe they end up like eating a bad food or medicating themselves with the stimulants, etc. Right?
Yes.
Isn't it?
So this is why craniosacral biodynamics can really help people who are stressed with digestive issues, sleep issues, learning difficulties. The list goes on and on and on to really reharmonize, rebalance, realign, so that the physical, the mental, and the emotional, and the spiritual, if you wish, all come into harmony.
And but yes, I know that on the island there are maybe only 2 or 3 people doing it, and you're certainly one of the most famous ones. Yeah, absolutely, very good. So I'm very so happy to be here with my friend Geoff. And if you come to Kohphangan, you can experience either the TRE or the craniosacral, or maybe both. Why not? So thank you very much for being a part of this great interview. And in Kohphangan, the way we tend to greet people and say goodbye as well is through a big hug. So can I give you a hug?
I would love it, Luca.
Yay!
Thank you.
Very well,
amazing.
nice. Thank you, guys.
Great. Thanks, guys. Ciao.